Hey folks, how you all doing tonight? Sorry I'm a couple minutes late here. Got a lot to talk about tonight. KFX is first. DCM, I see you all talking back and forth. War with Taiwan, huh? That would certainly take the minds off of the recession, right? Hello, Freedom for All. KFX says, I wish Rich would migrate to Rumble, wouldn't have to worry about any censorship over there. Guys, if I don't talk right tonight, I'll explain why. I'm not with it yet since my heart procedure. And I don't know why. But anyway, there you go, KFX. I am on Odyssey. I am on Odyssey. And we'll talk about this in a second. Believe me, we're going to talk about this. Hello, Deborah, and I'm sure that means Stanley's here too. So hello. And Carbide, Cindy J, Jeff Wheeler. I am, by the way, on the Odyssey, I am under Mr. Thrive and Survive. It's all together, MR, and then Thrive and Survive all together. I am there. I haven't figured it all out yet. But I've already made 10 cents over there, which is more than what I've made on YouTube in about three or 4 years. Because I was demonetized a long time ago. So good to see you, Cindy J. Cheryl Savage. Oh, I can talk about the reason they took me down. Yeah, they took me down. They went back again, 2.5, 3 years on a video where I mentioned something about the 2000 election. That's it. They've been aching to take me down, aching to do it. And the reason is I'm convinced somebody who doesn't like my channel kept reporting me until they finally just took it down. So that's fine. I'm going to, after I say hello, Vintage and Cheryl Savage, Big Worm. Yeah, the surgery went well, but it wasn't exactly what I thought it was going to be. And we'll talk about that. A lot of talk to talk about. Oh, I thank you for the nonstop prayers. Um, well, let's start with that. I had my procedure done on Friday, and they did find a blockage, 90% blocked, the Widowmaker artery. You know, if that one goes, then you're gone, chances are. And he said it would not have lasted much longer. And so they cleared that out. And now I have 3 stents in me. And I don't know if you can see it. No, I guess you can't. This time, they went through my wrist, thank God, but man, they hit a tendon or something, and my right arm is hurting. LA Young, yeah, I'm glad you are sub to the backup. Well, all right, so yeah, everything. So the surgery went fine, and you as soon as that happens to you, you have to start taking a drug called Brilinta. It's either Brilinta or Plavix. Brilinta is the better one, especially the first 30 days. And I couldn't believe it, but that's what the VA had. And well, thank you, Cindy J. So they gave me actually two to take right on the operating table as soon as they saw the blockage. And so everything went fine Friday. It was a late day. Oh, and by the way, it was Friday morning. Or sometime in the middle of the morning, like 3, 4, 5 in the morning, somewhere in there. That's when YouTube took me down. So I couldn't post any videos on Mr. Thrive and Survive. And I can't post it on this channel, believe it or not. Because the email address for this channel was the same email address for the other. And they won't give me access to log into this channel. The only reason why you're seeing me here tonight is because StreamYard, which I'm using as my software to stream, hadn't logged out yet. And so it's still logged in, and I'm still able to do it here. Now, here's the plan. The plan is to ditch YouTube 100% altogether. Is this going to happen or not? I don't know. I got to figure out Odyssey and how to stream to it. But I'm going to get to the point where I want to talk about what I want to talk about, and screw YouTube and their censorship. You can't talk about the 2020 election. You can't talk about anything medical, and God knows what else you can't talk about. They sort of just make it up on the fly. Some of these videos were before they had the policy, so they retroactively went back and struck these videos. But anyway, we'll talk more about Odyssey in a second. So getting back to the medical issues. So I came home. Well, I spent the night at Michael's house. And my sleep was all messed up from just getting up early to go there and just different things. So I woke up about 4 a.m. at Michael's house, and I decided to drive home then. And I did. I got home, and then I started feeling tired around, I don't know, 7 a.m., 8 a.m., something like that. So I decided to take a nap. Well, I woke up at 8:45. I thought I was dying. Really, I'm seriously. It felt like the life force was leaving me. I was sweating. I think it was probably extremely low blood pressure, maybe from the blood thinner that I'm taking. I don't know, but it was a weird reaction. And what was weird with it was I woke up like 5 minutes before that, felt just fine. Drifted back off, woke up again, and it was horrible. And I've had it again once more since then, but not today. Today's been the first day it's been okay. So anyway, I thank you for all your prayers and everything for that. And as far as I know, everything's fine. I can actually go back to the gym tomorrow if I want. Oh my God, you should have heard him. I never said anything to anybody about lifting, nothing. Everybody, no lifting until Tuesday. No lifting until Tuesday. So I was like, okay, I've heard this now 7 times. Yeah, not a splint, a splint, a stent, S-T-E-N-T, Freedom for All stent. And they go in, and what they do is they blow out the blockage, and they do that with a balloon. What they do is they blow up the artery, and so then it's not as taut as it used to be, so they have to put a stent in to keep it open. And then you have to take Brilinta or another blood thinner for 6 months, actually, is usually the 6 months to a year. So that, because right away the body wants to, I don't know if rejection is the right word, but it wants to clot around that new thing, and this stops it from happening. So I've already got a nice little, you can't see it, but I've got a nice little bruise here, and from before when I took it, I'm just, every time I bump into something, I'm going to have a little bruise there. It's just the way it is. And half the time I'm going to be like, where did this come from? Because I won't even remember. So now let's get back to Mr. Thrive and Survive being taken down. So that was just, I don't know, 12, 13, 14 years worth of work just gone. And I don't have any of the videos backed up, nothing. And I don't care. I really don't. It is what it is. Well, thank you, I Need the Beach. I appreciate that. You showed blow clots and went viral. They gave me a strike. Isn't that something? So I'm tired of being in the land of, it's bad enough we live in land of tyranny. The most tyrannical, industrialized nation in the world is the United States of America. It's not the land of the free. It's the land of the oppressed, controlled, and definitely not the brave. If you would have seen the people I saw today with their mask and stuff, and how scared they were. But anyway, so Odyssey has imported, it looks like, let me look at it as I'm talking to you guys. Almost all the videos, I think, from Wake the Republic, or Flat Earth Explored is what it's called now. Now, some people can't find this channel because I did rename it Flat Earth Explored. From Wake the Republic, because I went to this political agnostic type of deal. Oh, somebody just followed me. So somebody found me, probably in the chat. Let's see who it is. Go for a stream. Just press play on something. Anything at all. Yep, even that one. Everybody's doing it. What? See, I don't get this. It says I earned 5 cents for streaming my first video, and I haven't streamed anything there. I don't even know how to stream on Odyssey. I don't even know StreamYard can handle Odyssey. I'm going to see if I can find that out right now while I'm talking to you guys. Let me see if I can add it. It's not in the list, but you can use a custom RTMP. So I'll have to see how StreamYard handles that. So I'll have to learn that there. But here's the deal. And this is the way I feel, at least right now. So Flat Earth Explored it looks like that's on Odyssey. I must be streaming on Flat Earth Explored on Odyssey. Yeah, I think my videos all came over. I think they did. Well, I don't know if that's all of them. 3 years ago, 1 month ago, there's more videos than this. Anyway, I'll figure it out. But it's showing Flat Earth Explored there. Wow, musclefast.net is there. I didn't even tell them about that. It must be in my link description or something that it imported. Anyway, here's the deal. I want to be totally free of YouTube. And I still want to do streams. Why not Rumble? Because Rumble, the last time I checked, well, let me see where they're at now. Let me see if StreamYard has a default for Rumble. No. Doesn't mean I can't customize it, but anyway. Let me see something. Guess who's got some of my videos backed up? StreamYard. It's got back to January 1st of this year backed up. So I do have those, but they're all streams. Anyway. Rumble, Odyssey. Odyssey at least pays you. Even if you watch videos, they pay you. That's what I thought, Carbide. You have to pay for streaming on Rumble. That was the issue before. Let me go there. We sign in. I have MuscleFest over there. I think I have Mr. Thrive and Survive over there too. But let me just act like I want to do a live stream. Live streaming. Rumble ads and video player. Supported by Rumble advertisements, no tag integrations, unlimited usage. $10 a month gets you ad-free viewing experience. Did he come on with ads in the middle of your stream? Unlimited live streaming. The other one doesn't say unlimited live. So what does that mean? I don't care about the storage. That's not bad for $10 a month. Supported by no tag integrations, unlimited usage, but the other one is unlimited live streaming. Notice at this time, live streaming is only available for basic package or larger. So you can't do the free one. We will be making live streaming available to all users in the near future, which we've been reading about for about a year now. Now, if I'm going to, here's the deal. If we're not going to get enough people to go to one of the alternatives, then I'd rather not even stream than be on YouTube and be gagged, if you know what I mean. So if we can get enough people to go over to one of the alternatives, because here's what I'll probably do. I'll probably figure this out in the next week or two, hopefully, if I have time. And then we'll do a live stream with this one if we can combine the two, which I know we can if I get the other one working. And see how many people we get on the other one. And if we don't get enough, then, like I said, I'd rather not stream at all than just have like 4 or 5 people on a platform where I can talk whatever I want. Because if I live stream here and at Odyssey or Rumble, I can say anything I want there, but I can't say it here. Yeah, that's what I understand, Stanley. The Odyssey has no limitations on what you can say. John, my channel got removed for 3 strikes. The first one was misinformation going against CDC guidelines. The next 2 were indicating that something was wrong with some election. That's the best I can say. All right, Stanley. Well, I'm on both. Well, let me make sure on Rumble. Let me sign out there and see if Mr. Thrive and Survive is there. Okay, let me search for it. Yeah, Celebrate Truth comes up. And the videos where I was on there come up with that. At least one of them does. I'm not on there as Mr. Thrive and Survive. Hold on. Let me check channels now. See, each one is different. I have 24 subscribers there, Mr. Thrive and Survive on Rumble. It doesn't show me who they are. Maybe I have to log in as Mr. Thrive and Survive to do it, which I have to remember my password and all that stuff. But anyway, the bottom line is I want off of this platform. I really do. I'm tired of playing the stupid games, and it's sort of the Starve the Beast thing. They're going to treat us like this, and I'm going to still help them out. No, I don't think so. So anyway, I just getting back to the medical now. My speech hasn't been right. My brain hasn't been right since the operation. And I don't know if it's the fentanyl and whatever other drug they gave me or what, but I'm better today than I have in the last 2 days. So I don't know what you guys like better, but YouTube is definitely not the place to be. Because we could be talking about something that's okay right now in this stream right now, but 6 months from now, they come up with something that we've talked about and say you can't talk about that. Monkeypox, let's say. And they'll just go back and strike you when you least expect it and take your channel down. So I don't know what you guys feel about that. I don't know how many people want to go over this. See, what happens is even on this channel, see, we're using the 70s to 90s on these streams, but on the backup, it's like where we are right now, like around 50. No jabs. Absolutely no jabs. Ain't going to happen. Never going to happen. Something I wanted to show you, just speaking of jabs. And this is CDC guidelines, so I'm not going against them. I just got to find it. Wait till you see this. What? Okay, get off my screen. What is this? These are not my photographs. Who am I seeing photographs from? Oh, they're in a weird order. Hold on a second. What's going on here? Nothing past September 4th, 2017. Oh my God. Just a second, guys. Let me see what's going on. Oh, I'm coming up on the suspended account. You can't access this. See, I don't need this in my life. I don't need to be on a tyrannical platform. Oh, don't tell me I can't access this. All my photos are gone. Let's see. No, they're here. What the heck? What is going on? Well, let me read it to you since I can't show it to you because I have it on my phone. New COVID-19 guidance from CDC focuses on individual decisions. This is published by NPR, National Public Radio. Number one, those exposed to the virus are no longer required to quarantine. Notice how things change after the bucks have already been made. Unvaccinated people now have the same guidance as vaccinated people. Students can stay in class after being exposed to the virus. It's no longer recommended to screen those without symptoms. Did the science suddenly change? Did they suddenly come up with brand new guidance? Something new under the telescope with this virus? Anyway, after the money's been made, common sense comes back to the CDC. Subs would follow another platform. I don't know, Jack. Maybe. And thank you, Jack. Maybe. Backwards world. See, that's another thing. flat Earth, you are shadow banned like crazy. I can type in shadow. Well, you can't do it now, but I could type in flat Earth, Mr. Thrive and Survive, and the first 20 or 25 videos would be Simon Dan type of videos, not me. There you go, Peter W. The wind blows and changes science. It's because they don't science. Nobody sciences anymore. All the hoax for people like myself. I don't follow channels that go to the alternatives because I curse the day ever got Facebook. I don't want to be tracked on a crap platform or have to pay for it, so it sucks. Well, the two I'm talking about, you don't have to pay for it. That's for sure. But I definitely would not go to Facebook. Oh my Lord, no. KFX, YouTube shadow bans and suppresses anybody that speaks truth to power. Absolutely. 100% agree. Most too many greats on YouTube due to their policy. Some give up or change their names. See, in this case, they just had it. I'm convinced they had it out for me. These videos been up there for 2.5 years. All of a sudden, now they have a problem with them. There you go, Jason. CDC. Cash decides concerns. Yeah, DCM. Well, why do they have to? What they've come up with now is we've progressed to the point now, especially Democrats, where if you don't agree with their public line about anything, it's disinformation. And the arbiter of disinformation are the politicians in control and those in control of the social media platforms, which are mostly Democrats. Yeah, you got a KFX. Can you imagine going there? I'd be down in 2.5 hours. One video, strike 1, 2, and 3, you're gone if they even have 3 strikes. You probably have to go in there. Oh, Facebook is so great and wonderful. Whew. I think I saw something that was being slid in there. So I'm signed out of YouTube right now. So watch what happens here. See, I'm signed out. See in the top right-hand corner, it says sign in up here. Search flat Earth. This is ABC News, and it's a hit job if you haven't seen it. Flat Earth proven by independent research. I'm shocked it's up there. Mr. Beast. Professor Dave humiliates Flat Earth Dave Weiss. 5 worst arguments in Flat Earth debate. Analysis with FTFE. Professor Dave explains. He couldn't explain his way out of a paper bag correctly. Destroying Flat Earth without using science. Part 3, airplanes. Please. I've crushed the Flat Earth into smithereens more times than I can count. Twice now without using any science at all. You never use science. Unbelievable. I'm going to listen to some of his crap.
Hey,
let's listen to his crap. Let's listen to how he just destroys us. Okay, it opened for you guys. Good. Oh, YouTube TV. Try it free, and then you pay. I wouldn't give you 1 cent for all the TV in the world. So let me see. How do we do this? Oh, I have to mute myself, and we'll play a little bit of it. Let's see how he destroys flat earthers. Oh my lord, I'm so scared he's going to destroy us. Where in the heck am I? What the heck? Uh, that was close. I almost killed the stream. All right, let me make sure you guys are seeing him. There he is. Let me mute myself. Mute.
Everyone. So with the first two videos in this mini-series, I demonstrated that anyone can prove to themselves conclusively that the Earth is a sphere by looking at objects in the sky and thinking with their brains. Those objects were the moon and the stars. So for this one, let's get even simpler and talk about man-made objects in the sky. That's right, airplanes. Continuing with the theme of requiring precisely zero science to show that flat Earth is the dumbest hoax on the entire internet, one thing that anyone can do to prove that the Earth is a sphere is to look at commercial airline flights. Let's revisit the flat Earth map, or the thing they pretend isn't their map, but it totally is because they can't make a map, so they just use this. Embarrassingly for them, this is actually an azimuthal equidistant projection of the globe. That's right, the flat Earth map is a map of the globe.
Actually, anybody smart doesn't use that. They use the Gleason's map, which is a perfectly good map. Well, now he's going to show how flights magically work better on the globe than on this thing. Which, if you're going to use this thing, first of all, Australia's in the wrong place on this thing. So, anyway, I don't care to see his bull crap. But maybe I'll go through it privately and do a nice little video on it. But like I said, I can't upload. I cannot upload to YouTube to this channel that I'm streaming on. I can stream on it, but I can't upload to it. So I wrote them. Let's see if I got a reply. I wrote them and said, I have another account, this one right here, Earth Explored, which is not connected, which is not the one that was taken down. How can I access it? Because they won't let me access it because it's the same email address. Now, hi, Mr. Thriving Survive. And they haven't answered because there's nothing here. Our team has reviewed your content, and unfortunately, we think it violates our misinformation policy. We've removed the following content from YouTube. Third party, really political update. This was so freaking old. It's not there, so I can't tell you the exact date because they took it down. Video unavailable, so I can't even look to see if what they're saying is even true. We know that this might be disappointing, but it's important to us that YouTube is a safe place for all. I've made YouTube unsafe. If content breaks our rules, we remove it. If you think we've made a mistake, you can appeal. How can I know you took down the video? And we'll take another look. Keep reading for more details. Content that advances false claims that widespread fraud, errors, or glitches change the outcome of the U.S. 2020 presidential election is not allowed on YouTube. Why? We've issued a third strike against your account, and your channel has been permanently removed from YouTube. As we've mentioned in previous emails, repeated or severe violations of our community, which I did, and they went back 2.5 years. So that's that. And I don't even care to get it back. You know what I should have shown was if you use your brain, you look at that picture of the moon he has. There's no bright spot in the middle, and it doesn't get dark on the edges. So use your brain, like he said. He can't use his. Hey, paraplegic bear. I actually wanted to call you a couple of days ago, the day before my heart thing, and it just never happened. But it's going to happen one day. That's right. They want YouTube safe for thumb suckers and bedwetters and people that do this still. I'm scared. We were at Michael's orthopedic doctor today in the waiting room. And this poor old lady who's suffering from, seems like from Joe Biden disease, you know. I don't know what else she had wrong, her hip or something. Who knows? It's whatever. It's orthopedic. And they have a policy, of course, because it's a healthcare place, to wear a mask still. But some of the staff and half the patients sitting out in the room weren't wearing one. They had them like tucked under their chin, or they just took it off because people were just, you know, they're not doing it. This lady who was with her mother was kept trying to pull it down or whatever. She's, no, mom, you can't do it. You can't pull it down. You have to keep it up. This went on for like a half hour before they called her back. You have to keep it up, mom. Face diapers for their airheads. Thank you, Cindy J. When are you coming again, Bear? Did you say October? Mystery of truth only works due to low average IQ and complacency. Absolutely, John. Absolutely. Absolutely. You nailed it. Because they want to believe the truth, quote unquote, the truth that they're given. They want to believe it. My brother just came back from Colorado and had to unfortunately stay with two of the most left-wing people he's ever known in his life. They actually believe and insist Joe Biden is doing a fantastic job. And he said to him, you know, only 20-some% of the people approve. Why do you think that is? They've been brainwashed. He's doing such a great job. And now he's going to control inflation with this $450 billion bill. You can't make it up. Only dumbasses, I'm sorry, would believe that spending $450 billion and taxing, quote, the rich, people making $400,000 or more, who own companies, they're just going to pass it on to you. That's what they do. They have a fiduciary obligation to their shareholders and partners to turn a profit and make more profits and more profits. That's capitalism. So if you raise taxes on them, they pass it down. They actually pretty much have to. Otherwise, their profit margins would drop. They're not going to drop the profit margins. DCM, something is wrong with this headline. Here's how the Inflation Reduction Act acts rebates and tax credits for heat pumps and solar can lower your energy bill. And we all going to pay for the higher taxes, right? For the tax credits and heat pumps. Nothing's free. Oh, thank God the COVID vaccine and everything and all these masks and everything. And the test, they were all free. You really think they're free? If you think they're free, how come Pfizer had a $56 billion injection themselves in their company the first quarter after the jab came out? $56 billion, I believe, is the number. Bear, you should be ashamed of yourself. You forgot to say hello. When are you coming here, Bear? I know I keep asking that. I keep forgetting. Did you say October? Yeah, rebates. What was it for solar and what was the other thing? Heat pumps. Oh my God. The most inefficient thing you can get is a heat pump. Unless you happen to live in the right atmosphere where the weather's just right for it. Oh my Lord. Don't get a heat pump in Arizona. You'll be sorry. You know what a heat pump is? No, not in Arizona. Like let's see. North Dakota. See how many heat pumps work nice up there. It ain't going to work. Heat pumps are going to work nowhere where you have moderate to severe winters. It just ain't going to happen. Should be there by November, God willing, and if the creek don't rise. Okay, November. I've just locked it in. My daughter's birthday's in November, so I've got it down now. I've associated it with something. Yes, in Maryland, there's a lot of heat pumps. There's a lot of people that are sorry they got a heat pump too. Some of them work okay. My cousin had a heat pump when I lived in Maryland. He froze your ass off. See, what a heat pump really is, it's an air conditioner inside out. They reverse the air conditioner. And if the air conditioner, the reason why it blows out hot air is because of the compression and all the work it's doing to cool your air. So if it doesn't have to cool your air, the heat pump doesn't work so well. And yeah, it's warm air, but it's not as hot as, you want good heat? Gas, I think, is the best heat. I mean, if you had your choice, gas. There you go, Bear. Better having good wood stove and natural gas. Better off. Yeah, electric cars. Me and my brother, we were talking about that. But anyway, the poor guy had to live every day for a month. He goes up to Colorado once a year to escape the Arizona heat. And he usually goes in July and comes back sometime in August. And he just got back. And he said every stinking day on the television, nonstop, CNN, MSNBC, CNN, MSNBC. And they believe every single word that's coming out of that tube. Stanley, heat pumps are excellent, only in very particular climates. Southern North Carolina. Yeah, Southern North Carolina would be even, I would even think most of North Carolina, except for the mountainous areas, would be good. Great. Up north, no freaking way. That's right, because there isn't enough contrast to make that work. There's not enough heat to make the heat pump work. Rain Song's 9. Oh, what's the matter with you? I think everybody should get an electric car and solarize your house. And that way you can plug your car into the solar house, right? Watch how that works. Auto host left Scottsdale last June when it was 118 in June with terrible humidity. I'm in the Ozarks, 75 degrees now. I have an earthburn home, so my electricity is about 200 a year, round for 24 square foot, 2-story. That's awesome, auto host. I'm going to live in the Ozarks, actually. I think that's, if I ever move from here, it'll be the Ozarks. You know, moderate weather. Yeah, you have winter. You have the 4 seasons, but it's not terribly extreme in any of them. Carbide says, are you worried about water over there with Lake Mead and all? No, it's a selfish reason, I guess, why I'm not worried, Carbide. They're saying that we're going to run out in 20 or 30 years. I'm like, I won't be here. I know that's selfish, but what they should be doing is they're making mistakes. I don't know why, but the government is making a mistake. They're planning on, while they're having talks about taking water from the Mississippi and pulling it all the way out here to Arizona, which means you got to go over the Continental Divide. And you have certain things in the Mississippi River which are not conducive to the life forms in the rivers here. They're enemies of one another. And it's just not a good idea to do that, to take from a river system 1,000 miles away and bring it into your area, which is in a totally different climate, totally different species of life. It's not good. And again, you have to go over the Continental Divide. There's a lot of issues. But there shouldn't be any issue, right? All they have to do is just run it along the earth, because we have rivers that flow for thousands of miles in one direction. So I guess it should work. I'm being facetious, so don't come. I'm not going to read the comments anyway from naysayers. I'm just not. What they should be doing is if they're going to talk about hauling it in from somewhere, they should build a desalination plant like off the coast of San Diego or something like that and pump that eastward. You don't have to go over the Continental Divide, and there's no species issue because there's nothing left that's alive in the thing when you after you evaporate. You just have pure water. Or Israel has these huge machines that grab the water out of the air, even in the desert air over there. They get a lot of water that way. That might make too much sense. Bear says, I remember in St. George, Utah, about 1985, they always said Lake Mead was low. It's nonsense. Yeah, here's the thing, Bear. By the time it comes down to when, it's like everything else. By the time it comes for the disaster to happen, it'll be so long from now, people will forget about it. They've done this so many times with so many different things. We have to, by the mid 2005, 2006, have this climate thing all addressed and taken care of, or it's too late. But they didn't get the money. So then the too late time period got later and later and later. And now it's 2025 to 2030. We missed that window. It's too late. It's like peak oil. Peak oil is going to be in the 1990s. Oh, no. Since it didn't happen, it's going to be about 2007 or something like that. Oh, since it didn't happen, it's going to be in the 2016-17 period. Since it didn't happen, what we saw the other day, I looked it up. It's still in the future, maybe as late as 2030. It's like, if they're trying to grab your money, it's something that'll always be pushed far enough out to where you'll never know. Oh, how about this one? How many people know this? We've talked about it on here before, and it's not going to happen. The Earth is going to run out of helium by 2030. Sorry, no more helium balloons. No more satellites either. Rich must have seen people in voting lists. Oh, I know the lake is low. I have no doubt about it. I have no doubt about it, Carbide. In fact, I have seen pictures. I know it's low. But we're probably coming up on the cycle where the reason that lake is low is because precipitation in the mountainous regions, snow in particular, has been on the lighter side for a few years. But recently it's been above average, but it takes a while to catch back up again. So we'll see. Rich Spum, there you go. Helium shortage was created to triple the price. There's a never-ending supply of helium, just like gas. Just like oil. I agree 100%. Yeah, there you go, Jay. Helium is so precious we can buy it at Walmart. 30 years. See if I can find the stupid article. Oh, check this out. Check this out. From Hindustan Times. Listen to this article. Title: Earth's helium reserves to run out by 2030. Earth's helium reserves will run out by 2030. A leading expert has claimed. I wonder how much he was paid to be the leading expert. According to Nobel laureate Professor Robert, oh, it's another professor, Robert Richardson of Cornell University. Will helium be gone in 15 to 20 years? And then subtitle, is the U.S. running out of helium? We're not running out of helium. We're depleting our helium reserves because it's so easy to obtain these days that we don't need a stockpile. Additionally, we're improving methods for recycling and recapturing used helium. How can you recapture used helium? How can you recapture used helium? Any ideas? Where does helium go? To where we can go and recapture it. It's got to be in some sort of container. Otherwise, it would just keep going higher and higher, wouldn't it? Or are we going to send rockets up to the top of the stratosphere or wherever this helium is, capture it, and then let it crash back down to Earth? That's going to be so efficient. Maybe the space shuttles that goes by has a little hose sticking out, capturing the helium atoms as they float on by. How long until the planet runs out of helium? The Earth, this is Professor Richardson said again, the basic problem is that helium is too cheap. The Earth is 4.7 billion years old in your dreams, and it has taken that long to accumulate our helium reserves. Oh, we've been accumulating helium reserves now for 4.7 billion years. As soon as we stopped being monkeys, the first thing we did was start to capture helium and put it in reserve, which we will dissipate. Now he says, well, oh, in August 23rd, 2010, he said it would be in 100 years. Unbelievable. Will helium be gone in 30 years? We hate to burst anyone's balloon, but the world is quickly running out of helium. The dwindling supply of the inert gas has been a growing concern since the mid-2000s because somebody figured out we can make money off of this crap. Now a group of scientists tells The Independent that the world supply could be gone completely in less than 30 years. And that was in 2010. So I guess 2040, none of us, well, I won't be here to see it. World helium supply could be gone in 30 years. CBS News, a trusted source. That was the one I just read to you. Uh-oh. The problem is twofold. First, helium is a non-renewable resource. Oh, but we just read, well, we can go collect it back. We can recycle stuff that's been used. Shut up. I don't want your CBS updates. First, helium is a non-renewable resource, mainly collected from the very slow decay of radioactive elements. Bull crap. And we're using it much faster than it's being created. Second, Congress passed a law, in 1996, mandating that the U.S. helium reserve, by far the largest in the world, be sold off by 2015, irrespective of market price. So it's running out. Congress finds out about it. They mandate that we have to sell it off by 2015. The supply appeared plentiful then, not so much now. The impact goes far beyond not being able to inflate birthday balloons. Liquid helium is used in cooling medical equipment. Oh, and by the way, when it's liquid, it's on the bottom of the container. Gravity pulls it then, but it doesn't when it turns into a gas. Liquid helium is used in cooling medical equipment, and gas has numerous industrial applications. It's used in manufacturing LCD TV screens. No more LCD TV screens, no more LCD computers, no more LCD anything. Goodbye phones. Oh, and it helps power the space shuttle and other rockets. You can't burn it, but it helps power it. And they expect anybody with any kind of common sense to believe this crap. It helps power space shuttle and other rockets. They release it out like a fart. Oh, we get to go around the Earth one more time. What's more, a far rare isotope of the gas, helium-3. I think it's helium-19 now after COVID. Plays a pivotal role in the research of nuclear fusion. It plays a pivotal role in the research of nuclear fusion? Why do you have to research it? We know how to do nuclear fusion, supposedly. One of the world's great, if far off, clean energy hopes. Helium is never going to be clean energy. It's never going to be clean energy. Wired had an eye on that problem a decade ago. Oh, did you? But even plain Jane helium is being squandered. Cornell University physics. Here he is again. Professor Robert Richardson told The Independent. Here's a guy like Fauci making a ton of money being the helium expert. Richardson believes the price of helium should rise by 20 and 50-fold to make recycling more worthwhile. How are you going to recycle it? How are you going to recycle it? I don't get it. He said a typical party balloon should cost as much as $100 to reflect the true value of the gas. This is a hint, Congress. Hint. Put taxes on helium. Once helium is released into the atmosphere in the form of party balloons or boiling helium, it is lost to the earth forever. So how are you going to go capture it back? They don't tell you that. Wow. Backwards roll. It's in the air, but it's at the top of the air. Yeah, Brolos. They got their big Mars mission coming up. Do you know how much helium that is going to take? Oh, I just saw, probably saw it on Mr. Thrive and Survive, so I can't go to my history and look, where they show on Google Earth the Mars landscape, how they perfectly match. Yep, carbon. I'm so sick of their lies and having to shut up about their biggest ones. Yeah, that's right, KFX. It's science. I wouldn't understand. Travis Joe. The sea level is rising, but not as quick as coastal property prices. That's right. Yeah, that's always Stanley. Hey, it's a government grab. It's always a government grab in some shape or form in the end. Planning and more price gouging. I think all huffing the helium. I think they're all huffing the helium explains why they're so dumb. That's right, Adam. People shouldn't do that to their vocal cords because it's depleting the Earth's supply of helium. There you go, Stanley. Mars equals Devon Island. DCM. Yep, there's no more water, but you live next to the ocean. Water doesn't escape the Earth. Water stays here. The true 100%, as much water as we've had since the flood, we still have. There is no more snow, but we just had snow in summer around the world. There is no more. Not on the third time. Yeah, the crap they sell us, DCM, it's unbelievable. So, DCM, I've been looking, and I think, let me see if I can. Remember, I told you I thought this late summer we'd be in a wave 2 up. And let's see where I think we are on that. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is either wave 4 up of the big first wave down, or it's wave 2, which I think is probably wave 2. Which means when this is over, and it's likely to be over. Well, see, wave 2s they can retrace the whole wave 1 decline, but it looks like there's tons of support around, on the Dow anyway, about 35,000, or resistance, I should say, tons of resistance, and we're 34,328. So give it 1 to 3 weeks maybe, and then Down she goes again, probably. We'll see. But that's where I think it is right now. Jason Frew, actually, the tide is going out. See, I mean, if people in California, they spend all this money on this bull crap, taxing this, taxing that, blah, 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 blah. If they really want to do something for the environment, tap the ocean for electricity, tap the ocean for water. It's totally recyclable. It stays in the system. Stanley, I remember Jared Nesbitt had a great video exposing the Devon Island thing with NASA trucks. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yes. I remember that too. Rovers and all a few years back. Yep, it showed like the rover there, whatever, had this little NASA thing on the side of a truck that was there. And you're like, well, I mean, they could be just testing it out or whatever. But then the same background shows up in the official Mars pictures. Yeah, you got to cover that. Climate change is the big hoax now. And I don't even know why we can talk about that. When it comes down to the money for it and they're pushing for it and they don't want the cent, that's when you won't be able to talk about that either. Fred, let's go, Brandon. We need some more ice cream. Did anybody see the meme where it was the first annual Joe Biden bike race? It was a bunch of bikes that were all crashed down on top of one another. Why not put underwater turbines to catch the Gulf Stream? Should get plenty of power. You got it, Jake. Oh, but that might interfere with the natural flow of the ocean, which we're never going to change ourselves. See, there's no, because what happens is once that's done, you have the upkeep on the system, but that's it. It's essentially free. Iron F. Helium tries to ride them ballers to the left of them. Curverts in front of them, volleyed and thundered, stormed at with shot and shell, while horse and hero fell, they that fought so well. Ah, pretty good, Iron. I like it. I agree, Elder Host. Gravity, buoyancy, and tides, supplemented by solar-powered geothermal, should be able to provide plenty of power. They know it. Yeah! And, yeah, there you go, Fred. Tesla is just about what I was going to say. Free electricity. It's in the air. It's all over the earth. It's all over the earth. But you can't tap into it. That's why Tesla technology was trashed, because you can't have JP Morgan and Edison and all them put out of business. What happened to cold fusion? Probably not enough money in it. People need to understand money is fake. What? So it doesn't matter if they add trillions. No debt, really. They do that to keep people broke on purpose by making up fake debts with fake money. Absolutely. Absolutely. There is no debt. There is zero debt. Zero. If you're worried about the debt and paying back the Federal Reserve, all you have to do is get one president to sign a executive order rescinding the Federal Reserve Act. Or just rescind the Federal Reserve Act. Zero taxes. It's all, there's nothing constitutional about it. There is no debt. But that gives them the excuse, oh, we have this much debt, we have to keep taxing you. What taxing does is takes enough money out of the system to keep you controlled, to keep you poor, to keep you in serfdom. So you're out there working your butt off 300 days a year or more just to try to make ends meet. And your spouse or somebody else in the house has to do the same thing. And you're taxed so much and people don't even know it. They don't even know it. Every single thing you do is taxed. Your pay is taxed multiple times. Federal, state, and local, right? Some places you don't have the state, but they make up for it other places. They'll charge you more in land taxes. They make up for it. Or the gasoline taxes are high. You got to buy cigarettes or alcohol, it's taxed to death. That's why cigarettes and alcohol are legal, and marijuana now, because they tax it to death. They get 27% total tax, sales tax on marijuana in Arizona. Because if you don't get their little card where you pay them $125 a year or whatever it is to have the license to get marijuana, that's fine because the voters legalize it. But what they did was they said, okay, if you don't have the card, you have to pay a 17% excise tax on it. And the sales tax here is 10%. That's 27%. And the people that run the dispensaries, they have to pay taxes on their corporation. And I'm sure they have to pay a special marijuana tax. And it's regulated to death. Stanley, I bet that president would meet a quick and untimely end. A la Rockefeller. Yep. A la John F. Kennedy. Yep, you got it, KFX. That's right. The last president who messed with the Federal Reserve got himself shot in the face. It's public schools owned by China. Doesn't matter who owns it because they're not teaching a thing. Carbide. Yeah, it gets me sick getting up at 5 a.m. to go to a job I hate and getting half of my check stolen. And then what's left, whatever you buy with it is taxed. Sometimes it's taxed and taxed and taxed and taxed. There are certain scenarios where you're taxed multiple times on the money you brought home to where you actually basically, you buy anything, you're taxed. You get taxed on it. Or there's a tax in the price that you're not paying, that you don't think you're paying for, but you are because the corporation that made the product, even if there's no sales tax, they're getting taxed to death. So again, they pass it on to you. Things would be so cheap and people would have so much money that you really would have a big inflation problem like you wouldn't believe if they stopped taxing people. But guess what they could do then? They could have people could make a buck an hour, like in the 1930s or whatever, 50s, 40s, whatever. And you'd be okay. Give me before about my channel. Oh, sorry about my channel. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. It's like I needed something to push me that hard to say I'm done with YouTube. We got to go somewhere else. So I expect to transition over and do simultaneous. And I wonder if, let me see something. Oh, you know what? I think what I can do is, once I have more than one stream going, let me see. Yeah. I think so. I can, in the middle, let's say we start a stream and YouTube is on there at the beginning, but then we want to talk about, I don't know, something happened in 2020, other things that happened in 2021, 2022, whatever. We can just say goodbye, YouTube, click. And we can continue at the other places. But as of right now, I can't even upload to this channel. Actually, let me see. I can tell you if I can upload right now. I'm going to open up my software that I edit videos with, and I'm going to try to upload to Flat Earth Explorer and see what it does. So we open a project. Yep, iron tax when you earn it, tax when you spend it. Taxed again at the end of the year. State takes their share, the cities takes their share. People pay tolls, that's a tax. Gasoline is taxed to death. Oh, but it helps the environment, Rich, to tax gasoline. What's going on? Let's load it up. Loading, loading, loading. Loading behavior manager. There we go. No, don't update. Okay, what's going on here? I'm going to record for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. All right, now I'm going to try to export it to YouTube. Sign in. Here we go. It might work. Hold on. Wow. It did it. I found a backdoor way. Interesting. Oh, Professor Dave Explains came up on my feed. Why you should never say it's just a theory. Oh, and it's a picture of an apple laying under a tree. So you shouldn't say gravity's a theory, even though it is. We'll processing, check back later. It's a 4-second video, YouTube. How much processing do you need? It worked. It uploaded it. Now, can I do anything with it? I can't. Unbelievable. I can't even delete it. Well, you're going to see a crazy video there. Untitled project. Let me see if I can sign in. Unable to access the account. We've F'd you. We've discontinued your account. I can upload it, but I can't do anything with it once it's uploaded because I can't log in online. I'll play with it, see what I can do. I know I won't be able to do anything with it once I get it. Once I get it there. Thanks, Vintage. Well, at least it went up there. I can't even get rid of it now because I can't sign in. But my software can do it through the back door. You got the notification, you too. Okay. Well, it's a permanent, as of right now, it's probably going to be a permanent video that I uploaded because I can't delete it. It's crazy. Oh, Fred, that's a scam too. They don't want people to have solar panels because they don't want you to pay you for putting electricity back to the grid. You know how that works? Well, maybe not everywhere, but you know how it worked when I had solar panels here in Arizona. Let's just say your kilowatt hour rate is, I don't know, $1 for per kilowatt hour. What they do is when you sell it to them, they give you like 50 cents per kilowatt hour. When you use it, it's $1 that you use from them. It's a hoax. It's a ripoff like everything else. Source scam. Yep. And I didn't know it here. I didn't know it until here when it's um, solar panels don't work that well when it's hot. So how in the hell do they work in space when there's nothing to get rid of the heat that accumulates on them from the sun striking them on the ISS? Methods of transfer of heat. Heat can be transferred by three ways, in three ways: by conduction, by convection, and by radiation. None of these are going to work on the ISS. Conduction is the transfer of energy from one molecule to another by direct contact. Sorry, it doesn't work in space. No other molecules, there's no air around it. Convection is the movement of heat by a fluid such as water or air. Nope. Radiation is transfer heat by electromagnetic waves. That's the one they'll claim. But that's not true either. Can't do it on the ISS. Oh. Oh, there's also conduction and evaporative cooling. Try evaporative cooling in space. It would work if you could get some water there instantly. Actually, going back to the stupid ice, the head of the comets being ice, which is impossible because there's no pressure, there's no atmosphere around it. So any liquid, any whatever, any gas would boil off, would not be in the form of ice. Backwards, we're on building a 18-foot self-powered Tesla coil and to scale. The small model produced 3,000 volts, and 30 my 18-foot one should produce over 11,000. How many watts do you get out of it, though, backwards world? It's like lightning has like 2 million volts, or can have 2 million volts, but the amperage is really low. Actually, it's amperage, I guess, is well, amperage is part of watts. Travis Joe, the energy is around. Power lines collect a hell of a lot of energy, runs back into itself. Yes. And it's what is it? We see the coils on top of it, on top of the large towers, electric towers that have all the wires on it. They'll have these ceramic things that are on top of a lot of ancient things that were look like they were built for giants. I'm having rare chest pain. Even when I have a heart attack, I don't get chest pain. Catch me after that Tesla had a hit to world with toupee coil. They say temperatures minus 250 degrees in space. Yes, Fred, unless you're in the sunlight, like what they say on the moon, then it's 100 degrees Celsius. Of course, in reality, they say, well, it's really 250 to 275 degrees Fahrenheit. So the Apollo astronauts, I don't know how their suits were cooled, air conditioning when there was no air to condition, and they're standing in the sunlight for hours where it's 250 degrees and 250 degrees minus whenever they were in the shade. But yet the film, the 8mm film in the cameras were just fine. Yeah, cooling by radiation sounds safe enough. Yeah, cooling by radiation requires all the molecules. What happens is the molecules collide with whatever it is that's hot, and then it absorbs that heat and then moves off. There you go. Solar winds. Wouldn't they cool you down? In fact, why don't we make fans, that are blown by the solar winds? Why don't they have these big fans that spin in the desert here? These big windmills. They should, instead of solar panels on the ISS, they'd have that. They're exposed directly to the solar winds. So all these things that they're telling you are in space, like the plastic around the wires, right? When they're in the sun, it's just going to melt. That's why that stupid Tesla car, which was in space, unmodified in any way, is bull crap. Total bull crap. Our tires here in Arizona can barely stand 110 degrees Fahrenheit. Seriously. You don't have to burn rubber to leave it on the street here. You just have to drive. That's right, Stanley. They were standing in the heat of studio lights. Keep us updated on that backwards world. Please do. How soon do you think you'll have that done? How have you been, Carbide? Were you on the last stream? I can't remember if you were not. Kind of thought maybe you weren't. But maybe you were. Yeah, that's right. There you go, man. Who owns a O-ring and seals company totally crushes the ISS. Yeah, and remember what happened to the Discovery when it went up, and because it got to 29 degrees in Florida that morning on the launch pad, they said the O-ring went bad because it got slightly below freezing, and then went above freezing again. Well, what about these O-rings in space that seal all these things that are constantly exposed to sun, dark? So they're going from negative 250 to positive 250, negative 250 to positive 250. They do just fine. He said even the best seals would never handle the hot and cold. Yeah, absolutely. See if we can get a decent picture of the Lunar Lander. You ever see this piece of crap? And it's pressurized. Please be a close up. Of course not. It's like tape, foil, and one of the astronauts themselves. Let's take a look at this. See, this is where I don't care how much logic you use. The other side, remember how I talk all the time, the fence around the brain. Can't get out of your belief system, no matter what logic you're given. You cannot get out of your belief system. Because your pride is more important than the truth. What the hell is this? Oh, it popped up. Get off my screen. Smithsonian Lie Institute. Oh, there's the flag that waves. Remember? So you have this thing made out of foil. What the hell is this up here? That's the antenna that goes back to Earth, Rich. Don't you know? There's an antenna over here pointing up at the Earth. Anyway, one of the astronauts literally said that if you dropped a screwdriver, it would fall all the way through. That's how thin the membrane was. It was foil. And the real good close-ups, it showed like these panels that are just laid one on the other, and it looks like they're taped together. They don't even try to make it look like they seal good. I wish we had a really good picture, but here's the logic. They show all these footprints on the moon. And of course, no, Rich, they changed. They wore a different suit on the moon. That's why the footprints don't match. Yeah, they took two suits with them. But the footprints show what? I don't know, 3/4 of an inch of dust everywhere they moved. And when they went around and when they drove the stupid little rover, which had no purpose other than to get viewership, no purpose whatsoever. Oh, and by the way, no matter which way it turned, heaved, went, well, whatever mountains it went behind, little mounds it went behind, no matter which way it turned or whatever, it had a perfect broadcasting signal every which way. And it had an antenna on it. No blast crater under any of the Apollo landings. None. No blast crater. And somebody did a good video on that, showing that they showed a a rocket or something that was like less than half the power of this. And what it did was incredible, that anything it touched. There's no blackness, there's no disturbance. On these pods here, there's pictures that show these pods, not a grain of dust in them. So no dust was ever kicked up by this thing. And again, it's pressurized, no pressure outside. And yet they could drop a screwdriver and it will go all the way through the membrane. I became a member of the Lunar Module Crew Systems Group at Grumman Aircraft Engineering Corporation, a corporation that milked the agency, just like Tesla's doing right now, milking you. In July 1966, during our weekly staff meeting, an engineer would occasionally identify a single point failure that could produce an event that neither the lunar modules or the LM's backup systems, nor the astronauts could withstand and survive. That is, going there in the first place. Yeah, if we go there, nobody's going to survive. They couldn't even show, nobody's been able to demonstrate a suit when you stick the hand or whatever into near vacuum, the whole thing expands outward, and they can't move their hand, and they have to withdraw their hand because it starts to hurt so bad. Not even close to the vacuum of space. These nightmare scenarios were met with stunned silence. After a discussion of all the ramifications, someone would say in a hushed voice, "Oh my God, that could really happen." Yeah, if they really went. We then yet form another team to develop a solution. Oh my God. I was called to help negate two such nightmares. The first one turned out to be quite simple. Suppose someone said, after successfully landing on the moon, one of the astronauts was outside of the lab exploring the lunar surface and peed on the surface. No, I mean, while the other guy remained behind in the LM cabin. What if the guy inside the LM had a heart attack or lost consciousness or had to poop or in some way became incapacitated and fell in such a way that he was wedged up against the cabin door, jamming it shut? This is your nightmare scenario. You're in 250 degrees to minus 250 degrees Fahrenheit between shadow and light. You have pressure versus no pressure. 2 truck batteries stirring the Cairo oxygen tanks, pressurizing the cabin, keeping it air conditioned, keeping the computer running, keeping the lights running, transmitting back to Earth to television, live television signals. And you're worried about someone having a heart attack and getting stuck against the, oh my God. The LM cabin hatch swings inward. I wonder if it's all flimsy, like the one that's on the ISS, that has the painted rivets around the side. The LM cabin hatch swings inboard. So in theory, a large heavy object on the cabin floor would fall through because a freaking screwdriver would fall through, according to the astronaut. And prevent the hatch could prevent it from opening. The astronaut outside the LM would be left on his fate. left to his fate on the lunar surface, unable to re-enter the LM and return to Earth. Oh my. What problems to have in space. All this crap, and they're down to that. I want to know what would happen if somebody got a case of diarrhea or had a normal bowel movement. That's what I want to know. What if someone vomited on the moon in their suit? Oh, and that nice, Fred, that nice metal ship that they say no metal can go through the Van Allen belts with people in it and have the people survive. That's what science says today. Nobody can go in a ship with metal in it, any metal, and have the radiation would be so bad it would kill the astronauts inside. Buzz Aldrin's still living. He went through it twice, supposedly. That's what space diapers are for. But they believe it hook, line, and sinker. Whereas I believe I just found out the British say rod, hook, and sinker. Didn't know there was a difference there. Maybe that's old. That was what supposedly. I watched a documentary on Operation Mincemeat, which was a World War. It was actually a good video. It is currently on Netflix, which I don't pay for, but my son does and gives me access to his account. And but anyway, I knew what Operation Mincemeat was because I'm in the World War II, but I didn't know the details. And it was a good video, good movie. But supposedly, Churchill said when it was successful or whatever, mincemeat swallowed rod, hook, and sinker. I was like, we don't say it quite like that. We say it hook, line, and sinker. But they brought back, that's right, you're talking about rocks. They brought back all these rocks, petrified wood on the moon. Man, when I found that it wasn't just Buzz Aldrin that gave a petrified rock, but actually NASA did too. Churchill was also a functional alcoholic. Absolutely. And a big time. You talk about someone who is prejudiced. Man, he would make the Ku Klux Klan people blush. How did they protect from the radiation from the sun? The sun had a solar flare that would kill them. The space station is protected by our. I'm not sure what that last word is there, Fred. Astropher? Yeah, they see him wearing a diaper the whole trip. The whole thing is just so ridiculous. And it's 12 layers. It's cloth, mylar, cloth, mylar, and then I think the rest is cloth. And that's how they sealed out everything, or sealed in everything. So if they sealed in everything, how did the air escape? Because otherwise it's just going to keep building pressure in their suit. And wherever it went out of, whatever vent opened up so that they could exhale their carbon dioxide coming out, how did they prevent all of it in one moment from being sucked out? And how did they air condition the suits? Oh, Rich, don't you know they had cool water running through it? Oh, really? They took up all that extra water so they can cool their suits. Oh, and I found out too that someone said cooling like that. They actually have people that work like in the desert and stuff. The problem is if you don't have a constant resupply of the water, it'll only circulate once or twice and cool you. Otherwise, then it becomes body temperature, and there's no more cooling effect. And they definitely didn't have evaporative cooling. Elon invented Tesla if Tesla was a money grabbing bitch. Um, yeah, Elon, again, I've said it many times, is a gray hat at best. He sucks money off of you. You don't know it. People think it's all, he's getting all this money because he's such a great entrepreneur. No, he's great at sucking that government teat. That's what he's great at doing. These rockets, who's paying for them? You are. American people are paying for them. You think he's out there spending his own money making up these rockets and sending them into space, supposedly, and having them come back down and land on a ship? Remember that? Remember when it came down? I was like, this I got to see. I got to see this because how are they going to fake this? They did. It was very easy. Oh, we lost transmission just when it was landing. So you didn't see it land. It goes static for like 10 or 12 seconds, comes back, and it's sitting there on the pad. Oh, God. Yeah, Elon is a fraud. Smart one. Falcon 9s aren't working. Nobody is sending anything up anywhere and having it land back down unless it's controlled by like a jet. Nobody's sending anything up, let's say 10 miles. Just 10 miles. He went further than that. And then they reverse the burn so it doesn't fall too fast. And it comes back down on a ship. At least if they launched it and said, okay, the Earth has turned so much to the east since we launched it, because it can't keep going with the Earth once it's out of the atmosphere and everything, right? At least if they would say, okay, now we're going to land in the middle of the South Atlantic, because they launch it off of Florida. Okay. So in the Bahamas area or somewhere in there, they have a boat standing by. No, this thing's in the northern part of not the North Atlantic, but way north of where it was launched. But when it was launched like everything else, because it's going to ditch in the sea in the east. It was launched to the east, and yet it comes back down northwest of where it was launched from. Figure that one out. Oh, Rich, they have correction. They can correct the how it moves. Really? Seriously? That's some good. That's some good technology there. So good. The technology is so great that from space they can get a rocket to land on a circle on a ship that's moving at its sea. The ship is moving at its sea, and the sea is roaring, and the Earth is turning, supposedly, and this thing's in outer space, not affected by the Earth's turn anymore, but the Earth is turning. And it comes back down to the northwest of where it came from, not the east, the northwest. And the technology is so great to do that, but they can't even keep the signal on the ship showing the rocket coming down and landing work. There you go, that Coriolis. That's right. Oh, that's right. Oh, I was watching. Have anybody ever seen Eric DeBate's 6-hour documentary on flat Earth? He brought up something I didn't even know. Like with this, well, I knew it, but I never put it together. It's on a ship, a battleship, let's say, and you have 2 forward guns, and you're moving forward at a pretty good clip, and you fire. Let's just say your cannonball, and they know that if you do that, you get a much different result than if you fire the two aft or back cannon at the same time, because you get an additive effect of the ship moving in that direction and a subtraction moving in the other direction. So if you're heading west, let's say, and you shoot two cannon off in the front of the ship, they will go a predicted amount, let's say 3 miles, plus they were really going fast when they did it, so they get an extra mile out of it. The cannon can actually go 4 miles, and they can calculate this. Whereas if you're heading east, or the two in the back that you shoot off east, you have to subtract how far they'll go, because the momentum of the ship counts, whatever you're firing it from. And this works whether you're facing east, west, north, south. It doesn't matter the direction. So Coriolis doesn't come into effect with this. They know this. They've known it for a long time. They can calculate it in. So if a ship is normally out of range, if they can go fast enough towards it, they can have it in range, because you have the added ship momentum heading that way when you fire the cannon. Well, you should have the same thing on the Earth, because we're rotating at 1,000 miles per hour at the equator towards the west. So if you shoot off a cannon facing west, it should go way farther than a cannon facing east. No matter what direction you fire that cannon, it's the same distance. Within a few feet, it'll go each time, showing the Earth isn't moving. I thought it was brilliant. I was like, oh yeah, that is true. And guess who tried to get rid of that? Einstein. Because he said you can't add the momentum, you can't add the like if you're on a train traveling east at 100 miles per hour, and the train is 1 mile long, and you walk from the back of the train to the front of the train. Well, you've walked a mile, right? And then you stop the train at 100 miles, 1 hour exactly. Well, Einstein said you can't add the two, which is bullcrap. This is why he said you can't add the two. He said, no, you've only traveled 100 miles. No, you traveled 101. You were 1 mile behind in the back of the train and walked a whole mile to the front by the time it stopped. The train traveled 100 miles. You are now 101 miles from your original point. But Einstein was getting people to swallow this. Oh, thank God, Einstein. Not only that, but the whole bull crap about the shrinking in the direction of movement, E equals MC squared, is how they got rid of the Michelson-Morley whatever experiments, the other experiments like that. Because the apparatus shrank exactly the same amount that was necessary that would show movement of the Earth or non-movement of the Earth, whatever. So when they shot the light east, they knew it was going to take longer than if they shot it west or vice versa, whatever it is. And they reflected the light around, and they measured the time. But the time was the same no matter what direction they fired it in. And Einstein said, oh, that's because the apparatus shrank in the direction of movement, so you can't pick it up. That's why Einstein was the hero. He kept this globe-spinning bullcrap alive for them. P-Bathulu. That's light. Special relativity. Light. Ludicrous speeds and mass break reality. That's right. Predicted relativistic time gains. Ooh. Oh, Einstein's predictions have been shown to match reality. Bullshit! Sorry, guys. Bullshit. Bull crap. Bullshit. Scientists today are finally coming out saying, no, he was bunk. Everybody's covered up the hoax. See if I can find something if it isn't taken off. I'm going to have to go to DuckDuckGo probably for this. Yeah, scientists are now saying it's been a conspiracy. Astronomy news. 5 times Einstein was wrong. Einstein was wrong about spooky action at a distance, scientists say. Article 2018 was the first one. 2021 was the second one. August 12th, 2021. This is from theconversation.com. Einstein was wrong, not your science teacher. New evidence about the universe suggests Einstein was wrong. New York Times, when Einstein was wrong. Einstein showed Newton was wrong about gravity. Now scientists are coming for Einstein. Yes, they are. Pay attention. And when you get into it, the people that are in the know, that have been in the system, they say it's been a total hoax. That if you're in the system, you see, you paid all this money to get your PhD or whatever in your science degrees. So you don't want to lose your job. So you go right along with it. But enough have come out now to know it was total bullcrap. Total bullcrap. So if you want to believe crap, go believe it. But go somewhere else. We're not going to. Your own science says he was crap. They're finally coming out. Yeah, even his Relativity was just a remix of 3 other guys' works. He worked in a patent office. It was his job to review patents. This is how he got his crap. See, the thing is, you can put a patent in. You may not get the patent because it didn't work the way you said, but if you're the only one that came up with it, you can get a patent on it, whether it's good or not. Sort of like Hillary Clinton had access to, what did she have access to? Same thing. She had access to the patent that works on each aircraft has a unique identifier, sort of like cars, that, believe it or not, you can send a signal to it and shut it down. Wonder why so many people that Hillary Clinton know died in plane crashes. Isn't it funny that when Hillary Clinton wanted to run for governor, which of senator rather, of New York, she wasn't from New York, but she moved up there a year before, so she could claim, "Oh, I've been here a year." I don't know if their law allows it. Who knows? Who cares? They're going to bend over for the elite no matter what. Nancy Pelosi doesn't live in their district. She lives in a $7 million house far outside her district. Same thing with, what's her name? Walters. She's the ugliest thing on earth. What's her name? Anyway, she doesn't live in her district either. You have to live in your district. That's the law, to be in Congress for that district. Doesn't matter. Oh, I also believe in incest. Thanks for that, auto hoax. So there's always that. Einstein was a puppet. It's all he was. He was the scapegoat because the science had caught up with the globe bullcrap. It caught up with it. People were finally leaving the earth. Nobody left the Earth when they came up with the spinning ball through space theory. Nobody. There's no jet planes, no balloons with cameras going up 20 miles, 30 miles, finding no curvature. There you go. Maxine polluted waters. You got it. Thank you, Jason. Maxine Waters. Not only the ugliest person in Congress, well, there's Jerry Nadler, but the dumbest person in Congress. I mean, she is as dumb as the sun is hot in Arizona. There you go, Fred's version. Science is the devil, making you believe in it. Science, that's right, because science isn't science. It's made up gobbledygook that no one ever proves or shows. They never prove it or show it. They don't want you to put your trust in God. Worry and fear keep you from focus on God. Yep, and faith in God. Exactly. Yes, jet engines were definitely decades after Einstein. And some of the other stuff, it's just that never dawned on me, but it's so true. Is it Flat Earth Banjo that has the I can't remember who it is. You guys are probably going to have to give me who the Flat Earth people are because I lost all those subscriptions. But anyway, the video, it shows a descending aircraft would have to descend at a much faster rate because the Earth would be constantly curving away from them as they're descending. Then they found out gravity didn't work. So they made up something. Dark matter. We can't show it's there, but we know it's there because it has to be. I'd go to the moon in a nanosecond, but they destroyed the technology. And we can't build it back. If you believe that crap, and they do, what does that mean about the person? I don't care how intelligent you think you are. If you're willing to swallow that crap, and they tell you right in your face, we have to solve the problem of going through the Van Allen belts. And they're talking about maybe we can send porcelain up because it can't be any metal. Did you see that Did you see the Lunar Lander? It was a metal freaking nightmare. All kind of different metals all over it, or different colored metals anyway. Different aluminum foil colors. Aluminium for those of you in Great Britain. See, I'm sorry. If you're at mile 0 and you walk to the front of the train, you're at mile 1 if it's a mile long. Now, if you're at mile 0 and you stay there until the train takes off, it accelerates up to 100 miles per hour. You get to the end 100 miles later and you've walked from the back to the front. You have traveled 101 miles. Einstein says, no, you traveled 100. Unbelievable poppycock. You're 101 miles from where you started. But no, according to Einstein, no. It's 100. I guess maybe you shrank in the direction of movement, so it doesn't count the last mile. Just so happens you shrank just right, so you can't measure it. Just like the moon just happens to be 400 times closer, but 400 times smaller than the sun. So it's perfectly the same size in the sky. And it reflects sunlight, but there's no hot spot. There's no darkness around the edges. And you can see this with your naked eye every single night the moon is out. And you can go out with a thermometer and do it the way Simon, Dan, and the professor wants you to do it. And you still get 2 degrees cooler in Fahrenheit, 2 degrees cooler moonlight temperature than not in moonlight. Every stinking time. They can't explain that in their system. So that means you did something wrong with your measurements, Rich. And so did hundreds of other people that did the same one. Maybe even thousands by now. Probably tens of thousands. Auto hoax. It's like 45 feet a second at 500 miles per hour of descent to avoid ascending into outer space. Yeah, I mean, you know how it is when you're in a plane. It flies level, doesn't it? Level. Doesn't fly off into space. Oh, well, that's because gravity's pulling on it, Rich. Who is this? Medium.com. No doubt, Einstein's general theory of relativity was wrong. I'm going to read this. This looks actually very scientific. There are two kinds of Einstein's theory of relativity. The first theory is special. It's special. Isn't that special? Special relativity, announced in the year 1905. Ooh, wonder why it was announced in 1905. When was Michelson-Morley experiments? Late 1800s, early 1900s? I think so. With the famous equation of E equals mc squared that describes the propagation of matter and light at high speeds. The second theory, general relativity, was announced in 1915. This theory was born stimulated by the new fact just realized later on by Einstein. It just popped in his head that his theory of special relativity was found to be inconsistent with the gravity theory of Newton. Got to fix something. Newton's one of our Masonic heroes, declaring that space objects pull to each other's with the force whose magnitude is determined by distance between the said objects. Again, you can never prove any of this. Put two gigantic aircraft carriers 1/8 of an inch apart from each other. They're not going to be pulled towards each other. They're big, solid, very heavy objects. His hypothesis, in theory, on special relativity, that the light velocity is the highest speed in the universe, is in controversy with the gravity of Newton. The velocity of force attracting to each other's among objects at the space, for example, wait a minute. The velocity of force attracting to each other's object among the velocity of force attracting to each other's among objects at the space, for example. I don't get the sentence. The attracting force of the moon causing the change in short term in the form of movement of sea tide on Earth has the meaning that the gravity effect spreads at the boundless speed, not at the light velocity or lower. Einstein's hypothesis on gravity. At his theory on general relativity, Einstein declared a new law on gravity, stating that gravity was not a force as commonly known at the Newton's gravity theory, but a part of inertia. They're both wrong. His gravity law illustrated the object behavior at the gravity field. For instance, the planets. He can prove this, of course, not in the sense of the attracting forcer, but only in the sense of the causing track being taken. This is poorly written. For Einstein, gravity is a part of inertia. The movement of stars and planets originates from their inertia, their derivation, and the crossing track taking is determined by the space metrical nature, or more precisely, the continuous space-time. Tests of general relativity. He suggested that a photo taking of the stars at the time when the sun was dark during the solar eclipse was compared to the photo of the same stars taken at other time at nighttime. According to his hypothesis, the starlight visible around the sun would be bent inwards toward the sun at the time when passing through the gravity field of the sun, so that the picture of the stars would be visible for the observers on Earth shifting outwards from their actual position in the sky. Einstein calculated the level of their deviation and predicted that for the stars observed during the closest to the sun, the deviation was about 1.75 seconds of an arc. That's pretty good. The test proving method of a theory as suggested by Einstein was recorded at the book The Universe and Dr. Einstein, written by Lincoln Barnett, published in 1949. Well, I'll get to the point. What was the result? Sorry, I'm reading this crap. This stuff. Wow. There was, the long story short was there was an eclipse in 1919. Is that what it was? Anyway, it was early on. One of them showed 1.62 seconds of an arc, which is close to Einstein's prediction, while the calculation output of this other person or this other area was 0.93 seconds of an arc. This very vivid difference. Here's science for you. This is modern science. This very vivid difference was ignored as if the expedition team performing the measuring from Sorbel never existed. If the data, it's sort of like climate change data. If it doesn't fit the model, get rid of it. Remember we looked at the chart in the last stream where they got rid of certain reporting stations? The reporting stations over time keeps going down, 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 when it should be going the other way. You can't go any. Mesa's got a reporting station. Little Mesa, Arizona's got a reporting station. I used to walk Charlie by it every day. But according to every year, there's less and less stations reporting. And what they're doing is they're taking out the stations that show that there was no warming. In fact, maybe there was cooling at that station. See, because it's normal to have, if you have a cold winter on the East Coast, that means the center part of the country is generally warmer than usual, or maybe the western part is, because how the jet stream dips and comes back up. It's like a sine wave. Where it's up like this over you, it's warm. Where it dips down, it's cold. But it runs like a sine wave. So if you want to say, oh, we've had a lot of low pressure areas in the East Coast the last few years where it dips down, it's colder, we'll eliminate those stations from the data. That's what they do. That is science today. Because you don't see the data. They just come on TV and say, hey, we're having global warming. Send us your money. The oceans are going to rise. Based on what? Based on their experts saying it's going to rise and they can't even show it. I did more experiments than I've ever showed you. I have shown you more experiments with ocean, water, and ice than they have ever showed you. Because they don't do it. Because they know it's bullcrap. My chemist brother-in-law, who is not a flat earther, trust me, he's as indoctrinated as they come. He's got a degree. Believes in higher education and all that stuff. He's indoctrinated. The only thing he's awake about is not getting jabbed. That's the only thing he's awake about. Trust me. When he asked me what I was doing, I told him, he goes, there's not going to, I don't care how much ice you put in there, it's not going to rise any. And he went into all the reasons mathematically and with all the density and everything, and how the water, no matter how I put the ice in there, the water feels, so to speak. He was trying to explain it to a layman me. He said, no, it's going to melt. It's going to be the same level. And it was. A chemist who's not indoctrinated knows it's true. But they'll tell you, oh, ocean's gonna, yeah, you're gonna lose coastline, scaring people. Miami's gonna be underwater. Well, Miami should be underwater. It's below sea level in a lot of places, and it's next to the sea. And again, it doesn't matter. We can go out. It doesn't matter if we do a 400-mile laser test. Refraction, and at the same time, we do a 7-mile laser test right next to it. Refraction was just perfect for both of them, so you could see them both. We proved that when we went out to Salton Sea and went 3 different distances. And, well, it was like 7 miles, 8 miles, and 11 miles, something like that, were the 3 different distances between the 3. And we had mirrors reflect back to the other 2 stations, and all 3 of us were seeing the other 2 reflection at the same time. In other words, all 3 distances were being refracted perfectly for the other people, all at the same time. All of them should have been below the curve. Did you see the hoax on I can't remember who exposed it. National Geographic. They went out to the Salton Sea because we proved that there was flat. So they wanted to go and show that it was a curve. So show the helicopter, right, disappearing supposedly below the horizon and then rising. And what they did was they used a sleight of hand. They used the exact same footage of the helicopter twice. And you could tell because there was 3 birds that flew in front of the helicopter, and they were perfect. The same same 3 birds flew the exact same pattern, flapped their wings perfectly the same, hours apart when the helicopter went down versus when it went up. You don't have to fudge reality. You don't have to make up stuff that's true. I don't have to go out there and do live streams, which I've done with moonlight temperature tests, and have ice cubes in my hand to put on the thermometer to make it colder. I don't have to fudge the data. But if it's bull crap, you got to fudge it or just don't do it at all. And 95% or more of today's science, they don't do it at all. But they say to you, it's fact. Oh, Rich, the reason why satellites stay in orbit, even though the Earth is doing all these gyrations and changes in direction and changes in the speed and all that stuff. Oh, it's conservation of momentum. Okay, show me that. Theory. That's why earlier. That's why the professor says never say theory. But it doesn't matter. They take anything theory and say it's a fact. The theory, it's a theory of evolution. It's not a proof of evolution. It's not a law of evolution. The theory of gravity. The theory of relativity. Oh, but it's true. It's 100% true. You don't understand, Rich. A theory means it's true. Oh, does it? Well, you have the magic bullet theory with Kennedy. Do you believe that's true? Oh, no. The government said that was Oswald. He was the only one. These people are barely smarter than moss growing on a freaking rock. You got a carbide. The globe Earth is not up for debate. It's like your model's the one that sucks. You're the one that can't show movement. You can't do it. And when the apparatus shrinks in the direction of movement, that's why we don't see any change. Okay, prove that the apparatus shrinks in the direction of movement. Well, Einstein said so in his theory, so it's true. But again, many scientists are coming out saying that it's been a hoax and it was purposely perpetuated, and you couldn't come out against it until now. I don't know why now. Maybe they're coming out with another theory. I don't know. But the ice has been broken on that one. Maybe they know that we know enough, or not enough people know enough to know that's bullshit. and we can't cover it up anymore. So they're finally coming out and admitting it. But his theory was the gospel. Try one more. I don't know if I'll find anything. Wow. Even Wikipedia has it. About the theory of relativity not being right. Wow. Popular mechanics proving Einstein wrong. Popular freaking mechanics. It doesn't get more mainstream than that. They use highly accurate clocks to prove his. I'm sure that about this time thing difference. Wow, wow, wow. Hold on. Where was that? Oh, they need gravity waves. If gravity waves makes this theory wrong too. Well, they can't have the two can't coexist. So they need gravity waves because probably there's not enough gravity. That's probably part of it. I got to see this popular mechanics one. We're just real quick. Oh no, popular mechanics is defending him. Oh my. A lot of people are not defending him anymore. What was I going to look up? Don't know. I want to see how they say they did this though. Air conditioning in space. I get 5 small AC units under $100. HVAC in space. This is from conditionedair-solutions.com. Space, for all its beauty and wonder, is not a comfortable place to be. The empty millions of miles between planets, stars, and other celestial bodies ranges in temperature from super hot to beyond freezing. Based on what facts? Based on what? Show me the proof. Depending on if you are near the star or in the shadow of a planet. On top of that, the vacuum of space offers nothing to breathe and nothing to protect against the sun's radiation as it travels through the solar system. And yet, humanity has established a home base in near space, the ISS. This interstellar home, away from home, has kept astronauts from all over the world not only safe, but comfortable as they work and study in a zero gravity environment. How do they study in a zero gravity environment when it's the what's they call that line that's a million miles away? When there's actually that's where there's no gravity, not 300 miles from the Earth or whatever it's supposed to be. Oh, but as soon as you watch them, when they go up, remember when the Tesla set up their astronauts? As soon as they popped out of the atmosphere, they pulled the gloves off and they floated. No gravity. No gravity. But the gravity of the Earth keeps the ISS orbiting around it. But yet, everything they have floats. Oh, Rich, it's microgravity. Wait a minute. The importance of insulation, keeping cool in orbit. If insulation protects the ISS against the harshness of space, it can't protect them against um, radiation. It just can't do it. Not from the Van Allen belts. How is it kept comfortable on the inside? NASA's science webpage explains, of course, they explain it, that the astronauts and their scientific equipment, not to mention the life support systems that keep them safe and healthy, and not to mention the exercise they get when they float on a cable, right? When they float on a cable, that's how they stay healthy. Exercise in a harness that they forgot to turn the channel off for the harness. They all create heat that must be removed to maintain a comfortable environment. This means insulated interior doesn't allow buildup of what? This means the well insulated interior doesn't allow buildup heat escape. Scientists created a new solution to solve this problem. Oh, it's new, all right. The active thermal control system. Sounds like we need this in our houses. The active thermal control system is heat exchange that transfers heat away from the ISS by using fluid-filled tubes that never get hot and they somehow they're cooled, right? Oh yeah, it's like an air compressor on Earth or air conditioners. First, cold plates within the ISS draw heat away from the hot equipment and interior space of the station. How did they do this on the moon? Did you see the space suits have cold plates in them? Fluid-filled tubes? Then the heat is transferred to a second liquid-based system that draws the heat out of the radiators of the ISS so it can be cooled. How does it draw it out? Into what? The liquid within the second system is ammonia because they can withstand the cold temperatures. No, that's their peeing. That's the ammonia. The liquid within the second system is ammonia. Oh, the astronauts had ammonia in their suits too, I'm sure. And so did the LEM. Because it can withstand the cold temperatures of space without freezing and stopping the heat exchange process. This is all bullcrap. The radiators of the internal space station are the long wing-like rectangles that can be seen underneath the solar panel structures. This gives the liquid cooling system enough distance to travel so that the heat can be removed. Oh, traveling the distance removes the heat. Oh, I forgot. That's not convection. What is that? We have convection, advection. Traveling the distance. I forgot about that in meteorology school. Yeah, I did get that wrong. I forgot it. Traveling the distance so the heat can be removed. I think that came from the movie Field of Dreams, Go the Distance. That was inspiration for space right there. Home air conditioning units also work to transfer heat in the same way as HVAC in space. No, they don't. An air conditioner has a condenser and an evaporator to move refrigerant to first gather heat and then remove it from the system to provide cool air at home. And how does it remove the heat? It blows it out into the outside of your home and then pulls in cooler air that's now inside your home into the system to be redone. Without air to do this with, you can't do it. So it doesn't work like your home air conditioner. The evaporator allows low pressure liquid refrigerant to absorb heat, removing it from the air. You're not transferring it to anything. All you're doing is, if it's cold to start with, the aluminum, the ammonium, or whatever it is, ammonia, you can't dissipate the heat. As the refrigerant heats up, it becomes high pressure gas. It moves through the air conditioning system. Air, again, my friend who is an HVAC expert, who says, Rich, the key word in air conditioning is air. Moves air to the condenser where it cools and returns to a liquid state. This happens again and again to make the air in home comfortable. Yes, exactly. because you're taking the heat and blowing it out physically, not transporting it to a closed system. If you didn't blow the heat from your air conditioner outside, if this works in space, all we have to do is get a long rod, fill it with ammonia, right? Keep it in the shade, and we wouldn't need all this crap. We wouldn't need to blow hot air out. You know what? I think I'm going to actually bookmark this page and send it to my HVAC friend. See what he says. All right, I'm back to the chat. Ah, that's right. It's a space swamp cooler. There you go, Bear. Rich, you don't understand. Do you have a lab coat? Actually, I used to. No, then be quiet, dumb dumb. Not astronaut, huh? Yeah, there you go, Whale. And their air conditioning, the keyword is con. What was in the suits? They're standing for hours in 250 degrees. There's no recirc water, recirc ammonia, nothing in their suit. Melting ice is going to last that long in a suit. And besides, if they did have liquid in their suit, which they didn't, it's stupid to even suggest. As soon as they got in the shade to get ready to climb up on the limb, which remember it was in the shade, and that was one of the giveaways because you could still see them in the shade. But anyway, you couldn't see anything else around them, but they were lit up. You could see them. Anyway, they're going in the shade. All that liquid would suddenly freeze because now it's minus 250 degrees. They just start to climb up. Welcome, Whale of Beef. I'm going to try to go maybe 10, 15 more minutes. Well, this channel shouldn't be removed. I mean, if it gets strikes, it does, but it hasn't so far. I believe somebody on purpose on the other channel was trying to take it down. But yes, I am. You probably weren't here, Jared, at the beginning. I have already made an account on Odyssey. I also have an account on Rumble. I like the idea of Odyssey. I really do. Because it doesn't matter who you are. If you watch videos there, they're going to pay you money. It's not a lot, but they're going to pay you. And there's no censorship there. And I don't have to pay to stream like I do on Rumble. But one of the two, I'm hoping, it depends. If people go over there, I'll go over there and keep streaming. Eventually, I'm going to stop YouTube because I can't stand it. And it isn't going to be that long of a transition time. So, I mean, you don't have to do it now. Nobody has to do it now, but there's probably, and this is how I feel today. There's going to come a time when I say, all right, guys, you need to sign up with Odyssey or Rumble, whichever one I decide. And show me you're going to go over there to stream. And we got to find out how it works with you guys typing and stuff. Like, is it like this in the stream? I have no idea. We got to test this out. So what I plan to do is have simultaneous streams on YouTube and let's just say it's Odyssey. So I do simultaneous streams, see how many people we get over there. And then it's going to get to the point where I'm like, all right, I'm done with YouTube. We got 1 week left with YouTube. Go over to Odyssey now. And if we have 3 or 5 or 9 people over there, it's not going to be worthwhile to stream. So we'll see. BitChute is good too. But do they stream? Do they live stream, Kazmij? And are they... See something. Can you stream on BitChute? Let's see. I don't know. It doesn't look like they have it, but I can't say for certain just at a quick glance. It looks like they got quite a lot of people there, though. China Joe. Let's just looking at some of the videos there. Yeah, they apparently don't have any issues with what people are saying there. So I'll check into that one too. I'll leave it up because I don't know if they have streaming. Post the Odyssey channel in the chat in the comments below so people can find you. That's another problem I have. I've tried to do that. I was trying to do that before. Well, I don't know. Tell me what this does for you. I'm going to post. It's a weird URL, but let me see if this works. So here it is, guys. You tell me. Somebody go here and see if it. This is supposedly going to show my content. So that's my Odyssey right here. That's my Odyssey. So it looks like it'll be odyssey.com / at Mr. Thrive and Survive. We'll get you there. So I'm going to go in a different browser where I'm not logged into anything and see if that's true. Come on, you can do it. Come on, Odyssey. It imported Flat Earth Explorer, but when I put in Mr. Thrive and Survive, so let me give you this link, which is shorter, but I think it's going to give you the same thing. So that should be it, KFX. Odyssey.com / at Mr. Thrive and Survive. And then I don't know if that :1 is necessary. Nope, it's not necessary. Oh, it comes up. It defaults to :1. You don't need that. So all you need is this. So odyssey.com / at Mr. Thrive and Survive. KFX, awesome, work like a charm. Okay, awesome. So you guys just following me, they're going to pay you a couple cents, I think. But it looks like if you actually start watching videos over there, it could add up pretty quickly. Carbide, you just followed. Awesomeness. Both take you to the same place. I thought it might. Yeah, see, I'm not that familiar with how they do things. So so any channel, I guess you want, it's @ sign. So like Twitter, you have to put a hashtag or whatever for certain things. @ and then the name of the channel, and it should give it to you. I'm leaning towards Odyssey because I like the fact that they're not like YouTube. I've already made 29 cents. I don't know how I did, but I did. Yeah, I've got 5 followers now. And I had none before the stream. The question is, can you see this stream? Hold on. Maybe I can find out. Can I see this stream if I go there? It copied my Flat Earth Explored links over to them when they imported. They definitely did not import all. Maybe this is all the videos I have on here. I thought I had more, though. Copy link. I copied the link this time from them. Let me see what that reveals. What does that come out to? Yeah, it's the same link. It's the same link that I gave you. It does have that :1. I guess you can have multiple channels. What is this premium? Oh, for $2.99 a month, no ads. Well, that's a lot cheaper than YouTube. Pop culture, artist, education, comedy, lifestyle. Well, these are things I guess you can search by. I don't know how you get to the live stream. Oh, going live here is easy. Uh, just a moment. Now I got to look at this when I'm not on here. It's not lighting up certain things I need to have. It's just they're grayed out. Oh, I need to do a local set. Oh, stream server, stream key can be reused. This is where I can use the stuff for StreamYard, I think. So I'll try to figure this stuff out because eventually we're going to do a simultaneous stream. I can't right now test it right now because it's I got to set it. I could do it, but I'd have to blow out this what I'm doing right now, I think. And it doesn't look like it's just plug and go. At least not now. It probably will be after I do it. There's a bunch of things I got to fill in. No one used to stream there. A lot of people have the chat on Telegram because it's faster. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Put the link in the description. I think I can actually do that while I'm talking to you. What? Let's be scheduled in the future. What are you talking about? Oh, I can't edit it. I used to be able to edit it. Hold on. Man. As soon as I'm actually make a change, it won't let me do it. So it'll be in the description from now on, though. So I can't do it while I'm actually streaming. I used to be able to do it, though. Interesting. Maybe I did it before I went live. I don't know. But from now on, like the stream we do on Wednesday, let me make sure Wednesday looks good. Oh, Wednesday's weird. Um, I won't have my car Wednesday, or I may be walking to get my car. It's 2 miles away. Um, we'll just have to see how Wednesday works. It depends on when my car gets done. If we don't do Wednesday, we're definitely doing Friday. But I think Wednesday will be okay. But there's just a chance. Wow, you searched it, it came right up there. Oh, that's fantastic. Hey, Bear, what was the original coffee you sent me that you ground up yourself? What color bag is that in? Brand new tube is good. BitChute, Rumble, and yes, the side chat app most used is Telegram, Twitch, D Live, Cloud Hub, Beta TV. Telegram. Interesting. I have 2 channels on Odyssey. Yeah, well, what happened Backwards World is it asked me if I wanted to import a YouTube channel, and I said yes, and I picked this one here that we're talking on right now, and so it pulled in the videos. I don't know if it's all or not, and the links and everything I had in the default description. It pulled all that stuff over automatically, and so I think it saw that as Flat Earth Explored, so that's a channel, but I created it as Mr. Thrive and Survive. It was just a Nicaraguan Ethiopian blend. I'll send you more. I'll get around to it soon. But I think I'll breakfast level because it's my least offensive. Hey, Bear, I'll pay you for it. So don't send it yet. I'll end up calling you as soon as I get free here one time. What time zone are you in, Bear? So I want to call you when it's 4 a.m. there or something. Oh, you're in Maryland. Okay. Yeah. I didn't know you were still there. Okay. Okay. No, I want to pay you for coffee. Your coffee's worth paying for. Trust me. And besides, that's what you do, so you should be paid for your work. But that's by far my favorite. But I haven't tried the one that what's her face asked for by name. Oh, there's an Odyssey app. That's good to know. Thank you, Michael B. All right, guys, I think I'm going to go. I think my speech got better as I went on. I was really not thinking too well early on. I think again because of the medication I'm on, or the medication they gave me. It was really. I've had a weird couple of days since then. Maybe because they were messing with my heart. Man, it took all my might not to go to the gym today. I was like, well, I can work legs because the reason why they don't want you to is because they go in to your artery here and they want it to be totally healed. But I was like, yeah, I did have my heart worked on. I should give it a couple days of rest at least. Yeah, never mind. But real quickly, the procedure went well, but they did find an artery that was 90% blocked. So they put a stent in, and it's all good now. And the worst was actually the next day. I felt like death. I really thought I was going to die. But I think my blood pressure went really low. Just me getting used to the Berlinta medication that I'm on, which is a blood thinner. It's a very strong one. That's right, Helen Keller. I got to try that one. But I've already ground up some of this other stuff. But I could still do another one. Well, thanks, Iron Effie. I appreciate it. Yeah, they found a heart in there. They said it was flat and not moving. All right, guys. So I'm going to go. And Wednesday may be problematic. I hope not. If it's not, I think I'm going to catch a bus. I wouldn't mind walking the 2 miles, except for, let me see what the temperature is supposed to be Wednesday or Thursday. No. I dropped my car off Wednesday. That still may be problematic because I got to get back here somehow. What's the 7-day weather forecast? 102 Wednesday. If it's sunny, I won't want to walk it. But anyway, either way. Well, thank you, Rain Songs. Thanks, everybody. Casmage, but the body will not grow peripheral around the blockage bypass veins. Yeah, I know that it will, Casmage. You're correct. You are correct. Well, if you're older, it will. I was told by one of the best cardiologists that's in Phoenix that I had for a short period of time. I don't have him now, but he said that, well, actually, it was my brother that had him, not me. He said that the reason why people if you have heart attacks, before you get into your 50s, like people, especially younger, 30s, 40s, whatever, he said what happens is as you get older, because my brother had a totally blocked artery, he didn't know it. And he said, that's because that's what saved him. He had other bypassed, his body produced other arteries around it to keep the blood going. He said, what happens is the body's very smart and it starts to recognize that the blood flow isn't as good as it was when you were younger. And so when you get into your 40s, 50s, whatever, the brain, I guess, causes the heart to start doing these other pathways around it, just in case it gets clogged. So most people who have heart attacks in their 50s, 60s, 70s, they survive it, versus the mortality rate's really high for someone in their 30s that has, I know 2 people that had a heart attack in their 30s and they both instantly died. Right away. But beetroot powder, I've got it, Kazmij. I actually have it in capsule form, just in case I don't have coffee or anything to suck it down with. Yep, the body was well designed. God is good. Yeah, their low cholesterol diets are nonsense. My cholesterol has improved greatly the more red meat I eat. My arteries are a result of a couple things that most people don't have. I have chronic inflammation, which is better than it used to be. That's one of the factors. The other thing is I have a pituitary gland issue where it doesn't want to put calcium in the blood into the bones. It leaves too much circulating in the blood. So inflammation with cholesterol is good. It's not a bad thing. Inflammation with cholesterol and with calcium makes cement, so to speak. So it has nothing to do with your condition, or I guess it would be worse if I wasn't in good condition and stuff like that. But the doctors, I'm not a doctor, so don't listen to this. Just listen to see. We're not going to have these issues in Odyssey. So listen to your doctor, whatever they say. If they say don't eat cholesterol, then don't eat it. But I can tell you, as an amateur, that whatever you starve your body of, your body will hoard. So I have special circumstances. Bear, my cholesterol is 167, so we're almost like identical with our cholesterol. But yeah, calcium and inflammation. My brother, there was no heart disease in our history. My brother has a chronic inflammatory disease. Can't remember what it is. And that's why he has an issue with his heart. But my sister doesn't. Nobody else in our family has issues. Neither did our parents, grandparents. It just doesn't run in the family. But we just have special things going on. It has nothing to do with our diet or whatever. That's all bunk. My brother, he's done tons of research onto this since he started having heart issues. He found an island. I got to ask you about which one it is so I can bring it to you. We can look it up. An island, I think it's in the Mediterranean, where all the population has over 1,000 cholesterol, and none of them have heart disease. They have no heart disease. But take your statins, okay? Listen to your doctor. They're the experts. They're the scientists. All right. God bless, guys. As far as I know, I'll be here Wednesday. If I'm walking 2 miles and it happens to be at showtime, then it is. But I'll try to make it so it's not. And Friday should be good to go. So God bless. Take care. And we'll be here on the next stream. But hopefully I know enough by then to have a dual stream going. We'll see. We'll see what I can do. So God bless. Take care. We almost made it 3 hours. 2:45. Not bad. And good to have you all here. In the 50s, not bad. That's better than we usually get, actually. So good night. Hey, good night, Vintage. God bless. And never mind, olive oil. Good stuff. Bye-bye.